Welcome back to Surviving Horror, the show where we take a look at different games in the horror genre and dissect what is the scariest aspect of each story, in my opinion. This week, we're taking a trip into the not-too-distant future of 2033 to talk about The Last of Us Part 1, released in 2013 and developed by Naughty Dog. Ever since the game's release, Sony and Naughty Dog have remastered the game multiple times. For this review, I will be using the footage from the 2022 PS5 remaster. While some people have disputed the status of The Last of Us as a horror game due to its cinematic storytelling, I would argue that it warrants being recognized as one of the strongest in the genre. The looming threat of the infected potentially being around every corner had me on edge throughout the game. What is even more memorable for me is that the clickers that you're avoiding throughout the game may not be the real threat of this world. It's the other survivors that scavenged what is left of it. In the world of The Last of Us, most of humanity has abandoned their morals. It is survival of the fittest in every sense of the word, which leads to what I found to be the scariest aspect of the game, the complete lack of humanity throughout the story. This applies to not only the survivors that are still alive, but how inhumane the cordyceps virus causes its host to become the longer that they are infected. Early on in the game, you witness the outbreak with Joel and his family, and at the end of the sequence, you get an idea for how brutal and dark the rest of the game will be as you watch him lose his entire world, and a part of his humanity goes with it. Despite Joel being the protagonist, he's not necessarily the good guy. Yes, he acts as the protector to Ellie, but throughout the game, Joel has to make decisions that get you to question his morals. And seeing how easily he makes these choices, it made me wonder about the horrible things that Joel has done in the 20 years that society has fallen apart.
So, we kill a lot of innocent people?
In the majority of post-apocalyptic centered media, it always seems like the best of humanity died when the world ended, but not many of them showcase that as well as The Last of Us. Nearly every survivor in this world seems hell-bent to take out our protagonists. And the most memorable of these awful people is David from the Winter chapter. The implications of his intentions with Ellie shows just how far the average person has fallen from grace. But the constant presence of this world is the cordyceps virus, and witnessing what it does to its hosts. Every member of the infected is a story of how long they have been sick, and how little of them is left. As you creep up behind a runner, you can faintly hear them losing themselves as this virus corrupts their brain. But that humanity is completely gone the longer that the infected stays alive, eventually resulting in a fate worse than death. The Last of Us is one of the most critically acclaimed video games of all time. It won over 200 Game of the Year awards, and spawned a sequel in 2020, as well as a television show with a second season releasing this year. If you have played The Last of Us, please let us know what you think of it down below. Check back with us next week as we travel to Silent Hill. This has been Jake Walker with Surviving Horror.